Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, here we have this residential, I'm going to call it a little courtyard, and it's got a little pergola patio structure up here. Let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. So dimension-wise, we have a structure that is about 8 foot 5 inches off the finished floor. So from the bottom edge here to the finished floor. And then I have the structure at 10 inches by 2 inches. You can see here also we have some dimensions of the full expansion or distance from left to right at 7 foot 9 and 3/16. And then I also have the inner edge here from inside of the beam coming across here as well as coming across here. I have that at 7 foot 5 and 11/16. Total distance from end to end I have at 15 1/4 inch from this edge here to the outer edge over there. Let's see if there's anything else. So the dimensions other than that aren't that big of a deal, as there is an area over here that they're interested in heating up as well, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I think that's about it, so let's go ahead and turn that off. Now the first thing is they wanted to have gas heaters in here, so I'm looking at the possibility of installing gas heaters. However, I do have a situation where I can't mount them in this orientation, and let me just show you why. Because there are clearances for the sun pack heater. These are S25 or S34s. Now I placed them at the same elevation as the bottom of the beams. However, the clearance here, you can see, let me get in the right location, and sorry about the bracket here. I manipulated the bracket for a different option here. But anyways, you'd have to build your own bracket coming across this direction here for this type of mount. But the clearance requires 17 inches from this edge here out, and that is impeding onto this beam, and then also 24 inches from the edge of the heater here to the left side and 24 inches to the right side. And you can see that we are in about 1.5 inches into each one of those sections, not to mention 1.5 inches into this edge here. So this wouldn't work for this application, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. But you know, the Ray, they're probably really looking for that footprint of heat. It's a good footprint of heat. However, again, it just isn't something that we can recommend, so I can't recommend this one here. Let's go ahead and turn that off, and then look at possibly a different option. And that different option would be to place electric heaters. Well, let me go back to this. Placing a SunPack S25 on the bottom edge of the structure here. Now I don't have this structure here. I'm going to turn off this wall here just so it's easier to maneuver through. Oops, sorry. Turn that off and put that one back on. But you can see here that I just have this centered within that span, so I'm not quite sure what the true dimensions from each one of these beams coming across here actually are. So that might work out fine. It might be to where you have to build in some type of bracket to fit in this orientation. And the other thing too is I have it in this orientation pointed straight down to the ground, because once you change the angle on a sun pack, then the exhaust all flows out of one edge, and when that happens you have to increase the clearances above the heater so that the heater is going to actually be down lower, and I really don't like that. I think I have this doorway at 7 feet off the finished floor, but let me just double check here real quick. And that is a glass doorway. Yeah, 7 foot off the finished floor. So this heater itself is going to be just above that 7 foot mark. Let's look to see what that would be. And this would be an S25 model. Let's see if we can do that correctly. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. And one more attempt. Here we go. All right. And let's see what we got here. And we have at yeah, 7'1" and a quarter inch off the finished floor. So now, will that be bad? Not really. You know, if I turn this wall back on, you know, it looks okay. But another option, another issue that you always want to think about when placing a gas heater in a situation similar to this, where this could be like a breezeway, is that, you know, the gases are burning on the surface of the ceramics in here, and when the gases are blowing because of excessive wind, then it's not producing the output of heat that you'd like it to. So that's just something to think about. If it's a windy, breezy area, gas heaters really aren't the best option for that. Now, I like gas heaters. I have gas heaters in my home, so I have nothing against that. However, again, this may not be the best option if this is a very breezy location. I have neighbor wall against my wall too, and we have a lot of wind that blows through it. My backyard's facing north, and so we get a predominant westerly wind that actually blows around my house into the little channel between the two homes, and a lot of wind just blows right through. Now my backyard is this, you know, direction over here, and I have the heater on the wall over here, so it's not affected by that wind coming across or through that channel area. So just bear that in mind. All right, so that would be that option, and I'm going to turn that wall off again, turn that heater off. Let me just go ahead and remove these two dimensions here and go with the last option, which is probably my preferred, and I'm guessing it's not the preferred for this customer because they did ask for gas heaters. So this would be a CD 4024 mounted in between the center points here, and you'd have to build a bracket again to mount this somehow. It could be a bracket that came straight across this way with a couple of arms dropped down that's just pre-manufactured. And you can see where I have them located. The clearances here, we'll go ahead and look at the clearance above the heater is 6 inches from the left to the right to the left, and right to the left to the right here, and then 6 inches above the heater itself. And then below the heater, I have the heater mounted at the same elevation as the bottom edge of the beam. So below the heater is 18 inches all around the heater and 36 inches down. So this would be a preferred application in my estimation. And the only other thing I didn't like about this is the footprint of heat that I have here. With the heater centered like this, if I could actually move the heater over, possibly, maybe it looks like I can go about 3 inches here, and then move this one off center from that opening another 3 inches. Then I'm still meeting my clearances here of the 6 inches of clearance up here, and I'm getting a little bit better of a crossover right here in the center. So that's just showing you that option, but I'm going to go ahead and move that back to where it was, and that would be, again, preferred. Electric heaters have no effect as far as their output when it comes to a windy situation, so that's why I like this application a little bit better. Now this one here I just placed on the existing wall, and I'm not sure if they're looking to heat up more of this space over here, or a combination of half of the jacuzzi area or not. But if we just move this heater, I have it centered within this wall right now, but if we moved it more towards this side here, let's say that's about 2.5 feet there, then I'm throwing some of the heat over here. And if you were physically standing in this space here, you would feel the warmth of that. Let's just go ahead and grab this model here and bring it over here so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you were standing over here, and you would feel the warmth over here as well as the portion of the jacuzzi area. However, you know, if you were sitting here, it wouldn't be as comfortable sitting there for a long time. So just bear that in mind, moving the heater from the center of this span that I have here. And just in case my span is wrong, let's just go ahead and look. I think I have that at about 12 foot. excuse me, 9 foot 3/4 of an inch. So from that center point, I just moved it over here, and 2.5 feet from the center point over to the right. Also, this is 39 inches long, so that's a little bit nicer as far as its configuration. It doesn't stand out as much as the SunPack unit does. Let's see if I have one more option to show you. This is the SunPack heater here. I just want you to see that. I'm going to turn this off for a second, and I have this at a 25-degree angle off the wall, mounted 8.5 feet from the finished floor, and you can see again you're getting a good overall amount of heat over here. If you did move this one over like I showed you on the last one, then I think it would just kind of stand out a little bit too much, but let's just go 24 inches here. It's a little bit wider, so I'm not going to go as far, but you would kind of see it, you know, from this location here. Now, most likely you're not going to be looking up at the heaters very often. Once in a while you might see them up there, but they pretty much blend in with the surroundings once you're used to that the application and you have everything else in place here. So yeah, it's a little bit larger than the other unit. It's a little bit more powerful. This is actually a S34. The first one I had here hanging in the center were S25s. This is also an S34, which could also be a TSH model. TSH models allows you to change the heater's output to from 34,000 to 25,000 BTUs. However, again, we got that clearance issue over here, so we really can't recommend these two units in this location. So just bear that in mind. All right. Well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.